And welcome everyone. Good evening. My name is Lucy, Doc City, and this is BI Norwegian Business School webinar on the master programs. I leave the floor to Jared Carmichael. He is the International Recruitment Coordinator for BI. Enjoy the webinar. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you, Lucy. Hi, everyone. My name is Jared Carmichael, and I represent BI Norwegian Business School. I am currently an international recruitment coordinator here at the school. But before that, just a few years ago, I was very much in your exact shoes. I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, and I was looking around to try and decide, where am I going to do my master's program, where next. At that point in time, I did my bachelor's degree in the United States, and I was sort of looking for the next step. So I was looking around and I got kind of hooked on Europe. And so essentially I was looking around to see what different types of programs, and before settling on a Master of Science in Finance at BI Norwegian Business School. So, it's not just, me representing the school. I actually have been directly in your position, and I understand, the amount of different questions and considerations you have when sort of evaluating your next step, where do you take your master's degree? So I know a lot of you all are probably wondering, basically who is BI Norwegian Business School? I remember the first time I came across it, I hadn't heard about it, but with some research, I actually found that BI Norwegian Business School is a leading European business school. Something that should be very important for you all when you're evaluating your next step is, the accreditations and whatnot, because you want whatever time, investment, and money into an institution that it pays dividends. BI is one of the top 1% with the triple accreditation. The triple accreditation is the AACSB, ECRI, and the AMBA. So that's something we're very, very proud of, and only 1% of the business schools around the world has that. In terms of numbers, we are actually also the second largest business school in Europe. So that's something we are very proud of. We are an independent, not-for-profit foundation. We were founded in 1943, so I believe that's 75, going on 76 years now. So we have a defense history. We're still relatively young, but we have been able to distinguish ourselves by focusing a lot on research. So we are the main provider of research based in business and management disciplines in Norway, something we are also very proud of, and we are 20,000 students strong, right? And a little fact for you all is that 10 out of 3 of the senior executives in Norway are actually from BI, and what this helps is that it lends to a lot of connections with companies, and our graduates are highly sought after. In terms of where we are located, BI has 4 campuses in Norway. So on the left, we have a picture of Norway there, and we also have one in partnership campus with Fudan University in Shanghai. So in terms of the master's programs, we will be focusing on primarily Oslo, and from this coming autumn, you will be able to take one of the master's programs at our Bergen campus out on the West Coast. So for those of you all who might think you want a different type of experience but still experience Norway, that program might be for you. So that's the Master of Science in Business with a major in leadership and change, but we'll get to that. So as I said, research is a big focus here for us at BI, and as a result, we have 8 research departments. So accounting and auditing and business analytics, communication and culture, economics, finance, law and governance, leadership and organizational behavior, marketing, and strategy, right? So essentially we have these departments, and our faculty work very, very hard in producing cutting edge literature, as well as staying up to date on all the latest trends within the fields, and then bringing that into the classroom. So I think that's very useful when you are evaluating your next step in terms of, well, am I going to be learning what's very much relevant to the industry? And that is something you will definitely find here at BI. Just to double back on in terms of the accreditation, so as I mentioned, we are triple accredited. There's only 70 business schools that have all 3 accreditations simultaneously, and this is something we are very proud of. Another thing in talking to students, I know they're always concerned of is the rankings of the institutions that they are considering. And so we have been placing very well in the Financial Times rankings, as well as the Economist rankings. So we are the top business school here in Norway. So if you consider Norway, definitely come to us, because it's the best choice. And it's the only choice in Oslo as well, the capital city. So I think it's the best of both worlds. Further, with the Economist rankings, we are number 17, and we are the top, we are number 1 in the Nordic region. So in the Nordic region, I mean Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. So this is something that sort of lends weight to the fact that, yeah, you will get a degree that is valued externally. So whether it be in Norway or outside in Greater Europe and across the world. We have, so as I mentioned, we have 20,000 students overall on all our campuses, and currently all our international students are housed on the Oslo campus. So that's 1,800 international students. So it's quite a good mix. You know, yes, you're going to be able to see and interact with Norwegians, but you're also going to have other people from around the world as well. We have over 200 partner schools, something that we are very proud of, and it's very important for us to maintain these partner school relationships, because it allows our students to get to experience different institutions. So for example, a recurrent theme you'll see in our program tonight is that you have the ability to go on exchange during our master's programs for a semester, or in some cases for an entire year. And this is facilitated through our relationships with our partners. So you definitely will have like a lot of choice in terms of what courses you can take part in. 20% of our Master of Science students are international. So basically, yeah, 1 in 5, which is a pretty sturdy ratio. 60% of the BBA students are international, and 30% of our faculty is international, right? And on average, we have around 500 exchange students visit BI every year. So we have very healthy relationship, and it goes both ways. So, you know, I've had friends who, you know, they started here in the strategic marketing program, and then in the 3rd semester, they were off to Australia to do a semester there. So you definitely have a lot of choice around the world, and this is something we're very proud to offer our students. So in terms of the international programs, we do have 2 Bachelor of Science programs. That's not the focus of tonight's webinar, but it's good to still reinforce. Now we have 7 Master of Science programs. Now it's important to note that these are full-time programs, and they last for 2 years, right? So you'll have 4 semesters, autumn, the fall, spring, right? So that's 2 years, right? And we also have PhD programs with 6 specializations. But tonight we're going to focus in on the Master of Science programs. So, as I said, this is just a brief overview of sort of what our programs entail. So it's 2 years, full-time, 120 ECTS credits. So just to give you an idea of how it will work, you would effectively have 5 courses per semester during your first year, for example. And these courses would meet once a week for 3 hours on average. There are certain special circumstances where it might meet, you might have something slightly different, but as a general rule, you would expect about 15 hours of actual in-class time per week. And of course, the real work is out of class, where you have to actually focus in and complete a lot of readings and assignments. I mean, make no mistake, there's a very high standard here for BI at BI, and the master's programs are all very challenging. And I think that this is very important, because you don't want to spend the time and money come into BI, starting a master's program, and feel like you're wasting your time, or you're not getting value for money. You will be challenged, you will be pushed, and I think that is important, because it better prepares you for your next step, whether it be to continue on in academia to the PhD programs, or if you want to go out into the working world. So this is definitely, I think, an important facet to understand. You know, you're not going to just have it easy; it's going to challenge you. All our programs are pre-experienced. So what does that mean? Is that basically we don't have any formal requirement for employment. So this is important to understand. These are Master of Science programs, so they are pre-experience, and the programs are research-based, so there is a thesis component. So you see that the full-time program is a total of 120 credits, 30 of those credits, so a quarter of your credits are going to be achieved through the writing of a master's thesis. So that is very, very important. And I mean, we like to think of all our programs as sort of this international focus, because we understand that, you know, this is in the center of the world. So we look internationally, but also you get that Scandinavian perspective. And I think that is one of our key selling points, in that this is a very prosperous part of the world. And I think it's very interesting to see how things can be different relative to other parts of the world. As well as also our programs have various affiliations. So for example, the Master of Science in Finance program is affiliated with the CFA. So it does prepare you for the level 1 exams for those of you who wish to go that route. Okay, so now that I've given you a sort of intro, what are the actual programs that we have on offer? So we have the Master of Science in Applied Economics. We have the Master of Science in Business Analytics, a Master of Science in Business, a Master of Science in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, a Master of Science in Finance, a Master of Science in Leadership and Organizational Psychology, a Master of Science in Strategic Marketing Management, and a Master of Science in Quantitative Finance. So I know that's a mouthful, and we will briefly touch on all of these programs this evening, but essentially what I want you all to take away from today is sort of understanding what's available, and I would like for you all to contact us to get more information, because because of time limitations, we can't dive really deeply into every single program, but I guarantee you each program is worth diving deep into. Okay, so a little note, you see some of the programs, they have a little asterisk and a QTEM next to them. What is that? QTEM is a specialized program, so it's a slightly different program whereby students are allowed to go to 2 partner schools. So you start your first semester with us, then you go your second semester at one of the partner schools, you do the third semester at another one of the partner schools, and then you come back to your last semester with us. And during those two semesters at the different partner schools that are within the QTEM network, you get the opportunity to do some more quantitative courses. So you have essentially more scope to specialize in whichever manner you feel works best for you. So all those programs that have the little asterisks and the QTEM next to it, you are allowed to do that. So that's the Applied Economics, Business Analytics, and the business program with 2 of these specializations, either finance or economics. Right? So that is essentially 4 options there in the QTEM. So now we're going to try to just go through fairly briefly with some of the programs, the programs that I've just called. Okay, so first off, let's start off with the Applied Economics. So this program here is essentially going to provide you with this solid foundation in your economic theories. And more importantly, I think, how do you apply them to real world situations? So basically, we give you the theory here, and also you get some practice in, well, this is how it actually applies in the real world. So this is effectively to build up your analytical and quantitative skills and understand the strategies and to improve the decision-making process. So this program, it has a very quantitative focus, and it integrates data science techniques and courses to simulate economic models and analyze data, right? So what the goal of this program is effectively for you to develop really strong analytical skills, to learn a framework for analysis, and essentially be able to apply this to a number of different areas, be it international trade or business cycles, financial markets, firm competition, or strategic behavior. So I think this is a very exciting program for those of you who are interested in economics. And this year is going to be the first year that we're offering. So we're very, very excited, and I know the faculty is very excited to have this. So some of the really cool courses that you would be able to do is sort of like incentives, wages, and labor markets. So you effectively understand recent trends in labor markets and related to the related to technological innovation. So that's, when I say technological innovation, I mean digitalization and automation, right? And I think this is really cool. Of course, you're going to have other more traditional courses such as macroeconomics. So you'll be learning about the models, the empirical techniques, and also how to sort of analyze macroeconomic events by simulating numerical models. And of course, the simulation of numerical models is in strength, of course, is done by, you will have a course specifically on data and programming. So in fact, you're going to learn basic programming and data management, data analysis, and module simulation. So I think it's a very exciting program for those of you who are interested in it. Next up, we have the Master of Science in Business. So this is a very special program. So this is a quite generalist Master of Science degree, right? So and I think it's pretty much safe to say that this is our most customizable degree. So you have a lot of opportunity here to sort of steer exactly what courses you'll be doing, exactly what you'll be learning, where you would focus on. So you can combine different career path interests here to sort of really make a degree that fits your interests and your career goals, right? So the Master of Science in Business comes with 7 specializations. So effectively, when you apply, you'd pick one of these specializations from the list. So you have the major in accounting and business control. You have a major in economics. This major in economics is also available with the QTEM option that I described before. You have a major in finance, also available with a QTEM option. You have a major in leadership and change. That is more of an HR type of thing, decision making, leadership, change management, these sort of topics. That option is actually quite special because starting from this coming fall, this specific program, the Master of Science in Business with a major in leadership and change, you will be able to do this program in the Bergen campus if you so desire. You also have a specialization, a major in logistics, operations, and supply chain management. It's of course, vastly important in today's current world where companies, particularly global companies, are trying to cut costs and find the most efficient logistical systems available to them. So this is really important. You have a major in marketing and a major in strategy, right? So as I said, you can combine these programs. So one of the really cool features about these programs is that, so for example, let's say as a student, I did the Master of Science in Business and I chose my major to be in finance. All right, I am mandated by this degree to do 3 courses that are outside of my specialization. So we have the core courses, and then you have also you have 3 electives that you have to do outside. So a very common mix, for example, is students would choose to do the Master of Science and major in finance. So the Master of Science in Business, major in finance, and then they will do some courses within strategy, example. Or you can choose to do it within marketing. So effectively, you don't need to pick all from one. You can do one from economics, one from strategy, one from logistics. So it's really your choice as to how you mix up the degree, and essentially is how you adjust the degree. So I think that's a really, really cool degree program for those of you who are considering something that's a bit more flexible. All right. Next up, we have the Master of Science in Business Analytics. So the Master of Science in Business Analytics is a program that we started last year in 2018, and it was really popular, and I expect it to be the same as well. Now, this is really cool because this is very much on the nose. I'm sure everyone here is really aware of the term big data. You almost can't escape it nowadays. Essentially, this program here focuses on the use of programming tools and big data in the process of decision making. So we are in a time currently where everybody is sitting on a ton of data. And we need people who are skilled enough to make sense of it all, to help us make actionable business decisions based on the data. It can no longer be that we just feel like something is how it is. We should be able to find the numbers. So this program here equips you with the tools and skills that is necessary to be able to do that. So you will be able to develop a great deal of analytical knowledge and then apply it to business context. So it's not just about analyzing data. You also learn how to present it in a manner that makes sense for whether it be managers, CEOs, heads of companies, or for your own development, right? So analytics is essentially a means to an end. You want to achieve greater business value through superior insights. That is the basic concept. So you will learn how to conduct descriptive, predictive, prescriptive analyses to support and make decisions, right? You will work in very close collaboration with industry or international industry partners. So that is one of the benefits, again, of our strong based business ties here at BI, is that we afford you the opportunity to do this. And this program here would utilize a lot of projects, team projects as well, so that you can build not just the analytical, but also your communication and your collaborative skills. And I can't understate enough how important this is, because at the end of the day, when you go out into the working world, it's unlikely you're going to be working by yourself solo all the time. You are going to be working in teams towards a common goal. So you need to develop skills in practice, collaborating with people, working with different types of people, as the case may be. Some of the courses that you could expect to do in this program would be decision theory. So you would learn about sort of the different biases and decisions, risk, uncertainty, and of course, something we all should have heard of, game theory, those of you who are familiar with it. You do data management, so effectively identifying and importing the data, as well as you'll be learning basic programming. So there's a focus there too. So you would expect to get familiar with MATLAB as well as some other programming tools. All right. And then, of course, a very integral part of business analytics, or analytics in general, is you have to understand the more technical side. So this is where econometrics with big data applications, that course comes in, where you will learn forecasting and prediction models, causal inference, and as well machine learning. So I think it's a very exciting program. It's definitely one I would have done had I not already finished my degree. So I think for those of you who are considering it, really, go check out the website. If you have any questions, let us know, because it is a really popular program, and it's just a sign of how important these skills are and how valued these skills are in the marketplace. Next up, we have the Master of Science in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. So this is a brand new master's degree program that is starting this fall. So this is one of the two brand new ones. So we had applied economics at first, and now we also have the entrepreneurship and innovation. So I don't know how many of you all are familiar with the startup climate, particularly here in Scandinavia, but it is burning hottest here in Oslo. The amount of different startups we have, the investment in startups. So this is sort of quickly becoming one of the main destinations for growing a startup, as well as getting investment in Europe, particularly in Northern Europe. So this program was launched simply because we see more and more people who need guidance in terms of, they have ideas, but they need some more guidance in starting up the program. It's not so easy. You have a great idea, but you pretty much don't know where to go. This program will help you do that. So this program will provide you with entrepreneurial skills and an entrepreneurial mindset, which is absolutely important. You can have the greatest idea here, but if you can't translate it into some sort of product and communicate that value to your potential customers, it goes nowhere. So this is how you will sort of learn. Yes, you take a step back and learn some of the fundamentals. You will just learn how to discover and discern opportunities, and as well evaluate them. So this program here not only is for those of you who thinking, okay, yeah, I want to start my own project, or I have an app idea or something like this, but also for those who might be evaluating, is this a good project to invest my time in, myself in, because maybe some of you all would have opportunities to work in some of these places. So I think it's very important, this program, because it definitely sets the stage for your future and making the best informed decisions. So this type of competence definitely enables you to start and develop your own business. It can help smaller companies grow and scale up faster, and it contribute to like restructuring and innovation of existing businesses. I think it definitely tackles a lot of different needs, and you can definitely fine tune your experience based on what exactly you're interested in. So an important part of this program is to essentially learn how to handle uncertainty and risk. I mean, no program is going to be no project or startup company or an idea is going to not be without its own associated risks. So I think this definitely helps you in sort of developing the skills to really quickly identify opportunities, test solutions, and then as the need arises, adapt them to different customer needs, and of course, implementation and your cooperative skills are key learning outcomes in this, because as I mentioned before, you're not in an island, so you will be working with others, and you need to be able to work with them effectively. All right. Next up, going on to the program that I actually did here at BI, the Master of Science in Finance. BI's finance department is ranked among the top 10 in Europe. So that's something that played a key role in me deciding to attend this school. And it has a very applied focus, right? And I think that is very important as well, so it's not just sitting down, doing a whole bunch of theory and learning about the CAPM or and you're sort of in this bubble of just theoretical. You do get to apply it, and this is done through a lot of projects and assignments that can sometimes be too many, but I mean, again, they push you really hard, and I think that's to prepare you for when you go out there. So you do develop your IT and programming skills, because that is increasingly important in the finance industry. We're not going to sit down crunching numbers by calculator. You have to learn how to handle the technology. So this program here provides you with the knowledge in finance and basis for management positions in a wide range of industry. I mean, one of the things that's really great about a Master of Science in Finance is that it doesn't just have to be a financial company, I mean, yes, you do get positions in banks, but you just as easily can get positions in consulting companies. You can go into any company, because every company, every business out there has to have a finance department or some finance function, right? So I think this here provides you with a great deal of breadth. And again, this is a program whereby you can, through choice of electives, through choice of using exchange opportunities and the courses selected, you can sort of narrow it down to focus on what is particularly interesting to you, whether it be portfolio management, whether it be asset price, these sort of things. So you do have this opportunity, and I think that's really great. So some of the courses that I think are particularly interesting in this is you do quantitative methods for finance. This is, again, very important. It's an important aspect of it. So this is where you do quite a bit of programming in MATLAB. So for those of you who might be worried, you're not sure what MATLAB is, don't worry, you are introduced to it from the beginning. For those of you who already are familiar with it, you will get to go even further and really utilize your skills to come to some very interesting findings, whether it be for data or predictions, etc. So that's quantitative methods of finance. You also have applied valuation. So of course you will learn the range of valuation techniques, and of course, more importantly, not just what techniques are available, but when to use what techniques. There are points in time when certain techniques would be more advantageous versus not, and understanding the trade-offs in using one versus the other. Right, and as well, you get a lot of experience with working with Bloomberg terminals, so you will be familiar to something that is very much an industry standard. Wherever you go, you get out there, you'll see these Bloomberg terminals. It's not going to be brand new for you, because you will be experiencing right here. We actually have our own Bloomberg room with Bloomberg terminals for all our students to use. And as well, you will have the investment course, which investments course, which is, I think, really important to sort of understand the different financial assets available to the portfolio manager, the markets in which they trade, their risk return characteristics, and how they are priced. So I think it's a very cool course. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was thoroughly challenged throughout the entire program. And I think it's made even better now. We have the affiliation with the CFA. So the stuff that you go through here during this course here prepares you for the level 1 exams, for those of you who want to go the CFA route. Okay. Next up, we're going to have the leadership and organizational psychology. So this is a program here that gives you, and I mean, a lot of people could sort of minimize this to be a bit of a HR type program, but it is really more than that. Yes, human resource management is a factor of it, but it's much more than that. So you get the education as required to implement and lead processes and organizational changes. So let's say one company purchases another or acquires another company, and they're trying to merge these two companies to sort of realize certain synergies that they expected would happen. Well, this doesn't just happen. You need skilled professionals in these fields to be able to help navigate these processes. So the purpose of this program is to give you the best possible education and sort of the environment for the development of knowledge to be a socially responsible HR professional. For example, you'll be able to identify necessary changes for meeting organizational goals. So I think that is very important, So it's not just about pie in the sky dreams. Okay, this is what we want to do. But how do we actually do this? How do we change our corporate culture to a different one? These things don't happen overnight, and you need people to be able to steer this process. So that is really sort of what this program here would help you achieve, So you could look forward to some courses such as groups and teams. So this is how do you create winning teams. So you kind of learn how psychological processes can affect group performance. There's also strategic management. So you examine the frameworks and concepts employed by managers when they make decisions, which govern the scope, direction, and even in some cases the competitive positioning of their organizations. And as well, you have persuasion and power in organizations. So effectively, why do some attempts to influence succeed while others fail? So it's definitely a fantastic course. This leads us into the strategic marketing management course. And this course is for those people who like to communicate and support their message with an understanding of statistics and analytics. So if you're thinking it's just another marketing course, it's not that. As I said, we are a very research-focused school, and this course has quite a bit of analytics involved. So it's not, let's take this example. So if you are the head of marketing at Coca-Cola and you are going to put forward to the board that you want a budget for $100 million to do a global marketing campaign, you have to show some quantitative reasoning as to why. It can't just be, well, I think this will work, You need to have the basis. You need to understand the numbers and understand the demographics or the groups you're targeting or wish to influence. So this is how you get that good understanding in terms of consumers, marketing research, and as well as the use of statistical methods to advance the skills in decision making. So you will be able to understand how to build strong brands in the goods and services market and the financial consequences of marketing investments, because that side cannot be lost on you. It's simple. If you are going to invest this amount, it should have some return, and I think that is very important to always be aware of. So by taking this degree, you will be able to further develop your ability to understand essentially what makes winners and losers in the market. Right? So some of the really cool courses that here, I've had a number of friends who've taken this program and they were really, really pleased with its depth and the understanding, and also the quantitative focus that it takes, because I think that's sometimes assumed not to be as big a factor as it is when it comes to marketing decisions. Some of the courses you'll be able to experience as brand management, so you'll be understanding how to strategically position and grow a brand. So effectively, could you be like the next Apple or Coca-Cola, for example? Understanding the consumer. So that would give you insight into consumer behavior and what makes people buy. And I think these here forms the breadth, of a really exciting program. And the marketing department is very talented, and they have a quite quantitative focus. So I don't think you'd be disappointed. All right, and our last program offering, I know you'll bear with me, is the Quantitative Finance program. So this is a program that started last year, and it is essentially to address a need in the market. So it's effectively, we have a finance program, but this program here goes a bit deeper. So I don't know if those of you who have probably heard on TV shows and stuff like this, or just in general reading, like quants and stuff like this who work in hedge funds and stuff. These are the guys who really work through on some more the advanced modeling that's done. So this program here is a perfect fit for those who might have, say, a more mathematical or statistical background. So whether it be a bachelor's degree in mathematics or statistics, or even an engineering background, this would be a very good degree for those of you who want to transition into the financial fields. So I think this program is definitely good, and what you get to do is sort of use data and technology to understand like really complex problems, and ultimately maximize profitability, or in some case reduce the uncertainty to a minimal level. Right, so this program you'll definitely be doing a lot of quantitative, and you improve your quantitative and programming skills for sure, and you'll be covering some topics like numerical analysis, stochastic modeling, statistics, econometrics. These are sort of like the bedrock of quantitative finance, and you will understand how to apply these advanced tools and be able to analyze very complex financial instruments and contracts, analyze varied data sets for information extraction, as well as make forecasts and measure risk. So again, a very, very important program. And I mean, some of the cool courses here is quantitative risk management, is about fundamental issues of risk modeling and management in finance, computational methods. So you'll be getting insight into the computational methods for pricing and hedging standard and complex financial instruments. And of course, derivatives. I know we've all heard of them. So you will get a thorough understanding of the workings and the pricings of the derivative securities. So that in a nutshell is essentially our program offering. So now let's move on to like sort of some of the other things about BI, because it is a bit more than just these programs. So you do have a number of possibilities through your program, and we help you to really sort of get to where you wish to go. So we have the exchange opportunities. All our programs have internship opportunities. We have summer school opportunities. They have hundreds of student societies. So different, whether it be academic, whether it be social, whether it be athletic, we have these here, as well as we have a Master Merit Society connecting our top students with companies that are global companies that are based here in Oslo. And as well, we have the Career Center that offers career guidance, interview prep, as well as study guidance and stuff. Right? In terms of student life, what you can expect, again, yes, the program will demand a lot, but you will also have a lot of other opportunities as well to engage in various parts of Norwegian life. So you have, orientation week. So right from the beginning, you get to meet everybody and have these icebreakers to get to know your fellow classmates, hang out with them, socialize a bit, before you all start. Every year we have the career fair, which is a very, very large fair, and again, this is in conjunction with all the major companies here in Oslo. So as I said, we are the top business school. So what that affords us is the opportunity to get a lot of really good companies in here to talk to you, to let you know like what the hiring process is, how how likely it is to get into what essentially what life is like in that company, and you get to talk to some of our students. They typically send past BI students, so I think that's really good as well, because it makes it all very relatable. And we have, a ton of company presentations. I think this is probably one of the biggest sellers, all the big companies, from McKinsey to EY, BCG, Google, Microsoft, Accenture. These guys come to our campus to present to our students because they, as I said, we are a very attractive group, bunch for people here. And I mean, that is seen within our numbers. So, for example, every year we do a graduate job market survey. So 80% of all our international master students had secured work within 6 months of graduating. Just over half actually had a job offer before graduation. And they are quite satisfied. And for those of you who are considering actually staying in Norway, that is a possibility afterwards, because 6 out of 10 of our international graduates actually choose to work in Norway. And this, of course, is because they've either gotten job offers, etc. So, I mean, what you have to do is your part of coming here, working hard, achieving good grades and applying to these companies. And if you so desire, you have the option to stay here in Norway afterwards. BI, as I said, we're just over 75 years old, and we have a quite large alumni network. So we have more than 85,000 alumni networks. So we have people almost everywhere in every country. So, and we do have a lot of alumni events, whether it be, in the US or Canada, in different countries throughout Europe. There are alumni events. And for those of you who might be interested, you could always send us a message, let us know if you're interested in attending one of our alumni events when it's in a city near you. We could always let you know. So I think it's very important to hear what it's like to be a BI student, to experience BI, to experience Norway from the horse's mouth, as they say. So you get a chance to talk with some of our alumni. So now just to go on to some more the practical stuff. So essentially, the Norwegian government did annual estimate for students per year is around 116,000 Norwegian krona. So I also put there the conversions in US and euros. So that's about 14,000 US per year, 12,000 euro per year. So again, very reasonable. And I think one of the biggest perceptions when I speak to students is, there's a overwhelming perception that, Norway is really, really expensive. I'm not here to tell you, no, it's actually quite cheap. It's not that, but I think it's much more affordable than people realize, right? In addition, as a student, for those of you who aren't from the EU, you require a study permit in order to study in Norway, you have the option of working up to 20 hours per week during the semester, as well as full-time during the vacation period. So, for example, the summer break, you'll be able to work full-time during that time. So, I think it's an option that the majority of our international students tend to take up. Finding jobs in either cafes or here on campus. There are research assistant, student assistant positions. I myself found a job here on campus as a student assistant, and it really helped to make ends meet and help me to have afford me a lifestyle where I could have time to study and have time to do fun things as well. Our academic year, as I said, was 2 semesters. So you have your fall semester, which goes from August to December, and then your spring semester, which is a bit longer and goes from January to June. Right. In terms of housing, it's important to understand that all our international students are guaranteed housing. You just need to let us know before May 1st. So once you let us know what type of housing you want, the living situation, whether it be a full apartment or room in a shared type situation, you let us know, and we will organize it for you. So you just need to register before the 1st of May. Now, in terms of tuition, and I think this is where a lot of people might be quite surprised, particularly if you're considering options in the US and Canada. The tuition is quite affordable. So for the Master of Science program is just under 12,000 US dollars, or just over 10,000 euros, and a little bit higher there, just over 12,000 US dollars for the business analytics program and 10,800 euros. So again, quite affordable. You know, I myself did my bachelor's degree in the United States, and I believe the tuition was around 36,000 US dollars per year. So again, it's a big difference. So when you weigh the overall cost, so as a package, you know, you're looking at both tuition and living costs, it is really affordable to do your degree here in Norway. Scholarships, I know everybody probably has a question or two about scholarships. This is something that we offer. We do have a quite generous scholarship program, and we have essentially 2 classes of scholarships that we offer, and then a third class through our partner, the Williamson Foundation. So you have the BI Presidential Scholarship, which covers full tuition, as well as giving you a living stipend for both 2 years. And then we have the Master of Science International Scholarship, which gives you a range between the lowest end is full tuition for 1 year, and it goes all the way up to full tuition for both years. So this is, again, different scholarship options for you to finance your education. And then the third is the Williamson Foundation, which is a separate application that you send in when you upload in all your documents. And this year, they then decide who should be awarded for this. So again, the deadline is fast approaching. It's March 1st. So those of you who are interested in applying, do so now. It's a very easy process. You just need to upload scanned documents to our website. So it's really straightforward. And then we later verify all the documents when you're here in Oslo. So now I'm going to just run through, like, well, how do you actually get in? What do you need to apply? Of course, we're talking Master of Science programs, so you need a completed undergraduate degree from an accredited institution. So it has to be a minimum of 3 years. You need you have sort of program-specific admission requirements. So, of course, we've gone through a number of programs, and they will have their own requirements. I implore you to go to the website directly, because under each program, you'll be able to find specific requirements in terms of which courses you need to have done in order to qualify for the program. More general requirements is we require 3.5 on the ECTS scale. The ECTS scale is a 1 to 5, essentially a 0 to 5 scale. So 3.5 out of 5, so that's effectively a B on the ECTS scale. GMAT is required for all of those who do, GMAT or GRE, I should say, is required for all of those who have not, who do not come from a partner school. People who attend our partner schools get this waived, but if you have not attended a partner school for your bachelor's degree, you will be required to submit either GMAT or GRE scores, and they have highlighted, you know, the sort of minimum scores required for entry, as well as for those of you who have never had higher education in English, or English is not your native, is not your mother tongue. You see there the IELTS and the TOEFL scores that are required. So those are the minimum requirements to get in. In terms of the documents that you'll be needing, transcripts of your degrees, diplomas, motivation letter, CV, financial plan, copy of your passport, right? And it's a very straightforward application. And of course, we have a priority application deadline of March 1st. This is also the scholarship deadline. So those of you who want to be considered for scholarships, you have to get your entire application submitted before the 1st of March. Now, just to call, well, why Norway? You know, I myself come from the Caribbean, so you're probably wondering why did I choose to come so far away to do my master's degree? And I mean, honestly, like, Norway has a lot of selling points. Before I came to Norway, the only thing I knew about Norway is that it was probably like one of the best countries to live in. Like, you know how those lists come out every year? Norway is always like at or near the top. And from living here, I can tell you that it's very safe, a very stable economy. I think there's a lot of benefits to living in the society. Of course, there's low unemployment. There's a big drive here to being environmentally friendly, being sustainable, and I think that is really important. Happiness index I put on there because, simply put, the people here do tend to be amongst the happiest in the world in terms of quality of life. And another big thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that English is widely spoken. It is actually thoroughly impressive, the level of English here, even though you could almost say that that's a second language for everybody, but everybody here speaks really good English. So it is not necessary to really learn another language. to learn Norwegian if you get here. Though it is, of course, encouraged, and I would always encourage anybody, if you're living in a country, it's a cool time to try and learn, some of a new language. But English is widely spoken, so you can easily get around for here on just English. And basically, I mean, when it comes to Norway, and Oslo in particular, it is a really beautiful place. It's, as you can see there in this picture here, it's really close to actually the mountains. So, for example, from the front of BI, I could be like alpine downhill skiing in like 30 minutes or so. You could actually take the subway up there. So I think that is very unique, particularly for a European city. And I mean, the campus is really amazing. It's very well maintained. If anyone has ever passed through the Oslo airport, it's actually the same architect who designed the Oslo airport. So it's very Scandinavian design with glass and wood and metal. So it's a really, really, really beautiful place to study. A lot of great facilities here. So it's really, really a good experience. You're not going to have to go into, because I've been to like a more traditional old university where, the buildings are hundreds of years old, and it's not always like the warmest of classrooms, and the technology is sometimes outdated. So I think this year is definitely going to be a very good experience. And I think the city itself is just really vibrant. Oslo is a really nice place to live. It's a very international city, so you're going to find people from everywhere here. And I think that is really comforting as well, and seeing the mix of cultures here. And I mean, the last big selling point, of course, is just, Norway is an amazing place, I mean, some of the places I've seen here in Norway, it looks straight out of a fairy tale, It looks unreal. And I mean, you cannot easily access these places, go for weekend trips and stuff like this and see some of the amazing sights that is to see here in this beautiful northern country. So, I think this is definitely, for those of you who are considering something a bit different, a bit out of the ordinary, is definitely something you could consider. And I mean, don't just take my word for it. You can check us out on social media. We have a really cool blog called Life at BI, where we have our own students pretty much share their experiences of Norway, both positive and negative, I guess. It's a really honest student experience in terms of how it is like being here in Norway and stuff. So I definitely think that is worth checking out. And of course, you could connect with us on social media and, reach out to us if you have anything. So, I mean, at this point in time, I guess I could turn it over to see if we have any questions, because I know I've given you all a ton of information, so I expect a ton of questions to have come up.
Yes. Thank you very much, Jared. Thank you for telling us more about BI, telling us more about Norway. It's been really helpful, I believe. We do have a lot of questions to answer. I invite everyone to ask anything you'd like. If it's maybe your bachelor is suitable for one of the master's degree, if you're just curious about Norway, if you're curious about student life. Also, don't be shy if you don't want to ask in English. You can ask in Portuguese or Spanish. I'll translate it to you. And take this opportunity to ask Jared anything you'd like. Let's start then with a question from about the deadline. So Thelma is asking if she wants to apply for the spring semester, the deadline to submit her application for scholarships is the same.
Okay, so in terms of applications, there's only one intake period per year, and that's the start of the fall, so effectively August, right? So we don't allow anyone to start the program in the spring. It's one intake, one cohort, and that is every August. So in terms of the deadlines, it remains the same. If I'm not sure where she is from exactly, but I would say if she's from outside of the EU, she should try to get in all her stuff before May 1st, as much as possible. That way she can apply for housing and stuff like this.
Okay.
If she wants to be considered for scholarships, that's a March 1st deadline. You need to have submitted all your materials by then. So I would say, based on what she said, I would guess March 1st is the deadline she should be considering herself with. But again, yeah, it's one intake per year. And that's at the start of the fall semester. So August 2019 is the next one.
Okay. Tama is saying thank you.
You're very welcome.
She says thank you. I guess she's going to start preparing everything.
Oh, yeah. Start tonight.
Okay, Mary says that in my case, I finished my graduation in 2008. How to present my application?
She finished her degree in 2008.
Yes. Do you have an age limit?
No, definitely not. There is no age limit. The only thing required is that you have a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution, but there is no age limit. So you could be 200 years old and apply as long as you have a bachelor's degree. And of course, you meet the program specific requirements for the program you're interested in. That's what's most important for us, yeah. But there's no age limit or cutoff or anything like that.
Okay. We have a couple of questions about the English level that you request. Miguel says, what is the minimum English level you were requesting? You mentioned a couple of exams, Jared, but can you tell us if it's an advanced, if it's a proficient level?
Yeah, so I believe, it's here. So in the IELTS, it's 6.5, and TOEFL, it's 90. So those would be the minimum scores for that.
Okay, and what about the Cambridge exam?
At the master's level, currently, we do not accept the Cambridge exam, so you will have to do either the IELTS or the TOEFL.
Okay. Can the students submit their applications even if they don't have taken the exam, the English exam yet?
So they can submit it ahead of time, but what we'd ask is that you also include when exactly you're going to be taking it. So then we would wait for that. So we can essentially make a decision on your application, but have it conditional on you achieving the minimum level on the English proficiency test.
So, for example, Ivandro says that he has a date, which is April 26. Would he make it on time?
Yes. I mean, yeah. I think that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's also important just to point out. So for those of you who have done your bachelor's degree in English, for example, and get an exemption from having to do the language test. So for example, let's say I studied somewhere and my native language wasn't English, but I did my bachelor's degree in English. You just need to have at least 2 years of English at the tertiary level, and you would be exempted from the language requirements. So that's just a little something for those of you out there with that.
Okay. Let me pick a question about the programs. Doctor is asking, what is the difference between strategic management and business analytics?
Yeah, so strategic is strategic marketing management. So of course this has a fundamental marketing focus, right? So you will experience analytics with a marketing focus. The business analytics program, however, is a bit more general and can be fine-tuned based on your choice of courses. So what I mean by that is essentially, if I do the business analytics program, I could choose then courses whereby I focus in more on finance or focus more on marketing if I wanted, or I think, but the overall degree is still a business analytics. It's just which area you choose to work in, whether it be on your thesis or or projects that come along the way, right? So whereas the strategic marketing management, you will be doing a fundamental marketing degree, and then you will have the analytics associated with that. So it's a bit different. So business analytics can be fine-tuned to marketing, but it doesn't have to be marketing, whereas the marketing program is going to be a marketing focus program.
Okay. Here is another question about business analytics. Luis is interested in knowing if business analytics is the most indicated program for those who are interested in data science.
Yeah, so if you are interested in data science, then I would think that the business analytics program is the most natural fit for you, given our program offering. I would say that is the best step forward. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what background the person who's asking has, but in terms of if you want to start understanding this field, then I would say yes. You if you want to go into a career towards data science, then yeah, I think the Master of Science in Business Analytics is the most natural first step. Yes, you will get some aspect of analytics in almost all the programs. However, I think you get the most fundamental basis for data science in actual analytics.
Okay. Is business analytics suitable for those there are already lawyers?
Well,
Ever says that he's a lawyer and he wants to start a master in business analytics.
yeah. I think for those of you who have that sort of background, what I would say is that we would need to see from a bachelor's level that you have done certain courses, because as I said, analytics, it hinges a lot on econometric understanding, mathematics, and these sort of and statistics. So you will need some foundation courses. I'm not going to say right away without seeing your transcript and what courses you've done that you wouldn't qualify, but we would need to see these certain courses at the bachelor's level. And for a more complete list of exactly what we'd be looking for, you can just go over to our webpage at bi.edu and go to the Business Analytics Masters, and you will be able to see specifically which courses we need to see in your bachelor's degree. So I think the short answer is essentially that it depends on what this person who's the lawyer has done at the bachelor's level would determine whether or not they can get into the program. Otherwise, they have to do some extra courses in order to qualify.
Okay. One of the attendees is asking whether the program of applied economics is more focused on macroeconomics or microeconomics.
Simply put, it is a mixture of both. However, with your choice in courses, you can focus it more on one rather than the other. But you will be exposed to both types of programs. Sorry, not types of programs, but both fields of study. So both micro and macro, because that is the nature of the program.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see if there are any more questions regarding the programs. One of the participants is asking, I don't think he's interested he didn't tell us if he's interested in a specific program, but he says, can I apply if I have a bachelor degree in biology?
Well, again, it depends on what program. I would say I'm not entirely certain, because as this is a business school, so it will require courses in math, statistics, economics for some programs. I mean, it depends on really which program this person is interested in. But again, the easiest way to find out is it's free to apply, so you can just apply or find a program that you like, and then we'll be able to evaluate your fit for that program.
Or maybe he could get in contact with former students and see if someone has a similar background, has done a...
I mean, I would say to go an even more direct route, you can just directly contact us. And I will put up in a bit contact information just in case anybody wants to reach out to us directly. I would say that's probably the easiest route to let us know, and that way we can look and see what your transcripts hold. Because I mean, even though it might be a degree in biology, if there's a certain amount, depending on what program this person wants to do at the master's level, maybe that they can find a way in. So
okay,
just reach out to us.
You can screenshot, guys, this information, but don't worry, tomorrow we'll send you an email with all the contact details, links, deadlines, link to share with your colleagues and friends and family about the presentation. We still have a couple of minutes to go. Someone is asking if you could give more details, Jared, about studying while in BI. How does that work? It's a maximum of 20 hours, but what what do they have to do?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think the demands, having been a student here myself at the master's level, I think the demands vary from class to class. What I would say are the most common trends is that there is a lot of projects that I've experienced. So you can expect that as well. I would say the majority of your work is actually probably done outside the classroom, where so essentially in most classes you actually have to prepare your material ahead of time, because we'd be either discussing a paper or a recent study, or so in the classroom we tend to get more discussion based stuff, and then you do a lot of reading on your own. So you'd be assigned either homework, readings, papers to read, etc. And then you come in class and you discuss, the teacher points out stuff that you should have noted on, or maybe some of the more interesting or technically difficult parts. I think that's what you'd probably experience. So I think by and large, you should expect to do a lot of work on your own, and a lot of group work. And I think this is just essentially their way of mirroring what you'd expect outside of the classroom, in the real world. You will work in teams and stuff like this. So it's important that you get used to this. And I think, it is challenging. Make no mistake about it. This is something I tell everyone. It's important to understand it is challenging, but again, it's challenging for a reason, because it prepares you very well for your next step.
Okay, good to hear. Ivandro is asking, what is life like in Norway? Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How would you describe Norway? What's been your experience as a foreigner there?
Yeah, I think Norway is actually a really, really cool place. I think it's very special because it's a bit different than where I've been before, where I come from, or even like I lived in the US for 7 years. So it is its own place, and I think there's a lot of things that are very unique to Norway in terms of how the people are. My experience has been that the people have been like really friendly and nice, very very hospitable, very understanding, and very easy to speak to. I mean, there is a bit of ice breaking and stuff that needs to happen, but luckily I think here in school you get like a lot of opportunities to do that, whether it be in academic societies or social situations. You'll have a lot of instances to interact and get to meet people and speak, and of course in the classroom. I think Norway is very to travel around as well. It's very, very refreshing to have just simple things work very well. Whether it be the bus showing up when it actually says, or the subway or the train coming exactly when it says it's supposed to come. I think that's really good, because that has not been my experience living in other places always. So I think that is really nice. It's very easy, as I said earlier, to sort of communicate and get around, because again, English is so widely and well spoken. And this lends itself even to like some simple situations, like I was fortunate to like live in Italy for a year before coming to Norway, and I went to cinema there, and like, oh, it wasn't in English. So like these things wouldn't happen here now, because it's so spoken that they don't like dub their movies or dub television shows. So like these like simple little things, I think make a bit of a difference in terms of your acclimatization, and as well because of our large international population here on the in the Oslo campus, you'll always sort of find comfort in the fact that you have a lot of people around you who are some of the same things, So I think that is really cool. And one of the things I really, really love is how much Norwegians, love their country. And they love to like show you how much they, So when you take an interest in their country, they're like really excited, to go on cabin and, or go out skiing and stuff like this with you. So I think it's definitely been a very positive experience for me. Despite the fact that there are a lot of long days, right here in this building studying.
Yes. Let's ask the last question, which is from Louise. He is interested in career services. So do you assist the students finding a job in these companies that you're connected to? What's career services like?
Yeah. So so we do all career services there. We have very, very talented staff there, and we actually have specific career advisors for each program. So they specialize in, so for example, for the finance programs, there's somebody specifically for who deals with finance programs. And one of the cool things again about BI is because of our ties to the various companies, we actually have like when it comes to internship, we have these companies give like specific internships for our students only. Our students only have access to these internships during their programs, and a lot of these students who get these internships end up getting full-time job offers afterwards. So I think that is something that is definitely good. We have a lot of again. Simply put, there's a lot of companies who want our students because we produce high quality students. So there's a great deal of demand for our students. So they come to us, they ask to be on campus, to set up stands, they come to give presentations because they want BI students. So I definitely feel as though you get a lot of support, and this is support in not just how you prepare your CV. They also have, we have professional picture days. So essentially you come and you can get like a free headshot to use on your CV or to use on your LinkedIn profile. They help go through your LinkedIn profile with you. We have other seminars and workshops sort of directly gauged towards how you present yourself online, etc. So I think you get a lot of support, and as well, you get a lot of support being an international student, because we have workshops specifically for international students finding a job in Norway, and how do you go about doing that? You get to talk to students who've done it, listen to their success stories, be able to sort of like mirror some of their strategies. So I think you definitely get a lot of support in terms of the job process. So right through, from application, from preparing your online presence, all the way through to actually sitting down and them helping you do mock interviews, practicing how to structure the answers to your questions. I mean, it's really just up to the student to utilize the resources that are there.
Good, thanks, Jared. Let's wrap it up, everyone. Amanda, he says, Jared has already explained there is no limit of age to apply. And I believe there is also no obstacles for whoever is married or have kids. This is not a problem, right?
This is not
Okay, so go ahead, Amanda, apply for BI. Looking forward to checking your application. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Jared, any final remarks?
I just want to say a big thank you from me, and I really, really enjoy speaking about BI. I speak about it so passionately because I believe in it. I myself was a student here, and I just thank you all for joining. If anyone has any questions or comments, you can always send an email, and you could just put my name in there, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Okay, so thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Keep an eye out for our email in the following days. We'll send the contact details and other information that you need, including the deadlines. See you in the next webinar. Bye.
Bye.